What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to try to figure out how to install the Tach on this thing. Just a heads up, I lost the little cover for this little mic that you guys are listening through. So if you hear like wind noises, it's because I lost the cover somewhere in the garage. But hopefully I'll find it soon, because yeah. Now I'm using a 2000 LQ4 ECU. And when I was reading online, it was saying something like you might need a 1K ohm resistor to jump it. I bought this kit right here, and yeah, I'm going to try that out. Before I do that though, I think I may have made a mistake on the Tach lines, because let me show you guys. I mean, so you guys can see I have it hooked up, but it never actually turned on or doesn't really work. I have a little bit of a mess here, but the Tach lines, for whatever reason, I turned that Tach lines into a ground. So I have it labeled as OBD2 diagnostic minus, which is weird because I don't remember when or how I mixed that up. So it could be two things. One, I actually am not tapping into a Tach lines, which is not good. So what I'm kind of thinking is maybe this isn't actually a Tach line and just a regular ground. So yeah, I'm not really sure. So what I need to do now is I need to actually trace this all the way back through all this into the engine bay, or to the ECU in the engine bay, and figure out if I actually have a Tach or it is in fact just a ground. By the way, this is why I don't permanently mount something unless I'm 100% sure it already works. In the past, I would have, mounted it, made it all nice, covered it up, routed it and everything, and the next thing you know, it doesn't work. So what's the point? Then I gotta rip it all apart again and whatnot. Especially something that you're not sure about, I would definitely recommend just laying it out like this temporarily, right? Until you get everything working right and you're for sure it's working right, then you can clean it up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace this back. Looks like the black wire right here. And of course it went right in here. So that harness is going to be in the engine bay, and I'm just going to use a continuity check. I still haven't mounted this fully yet, so eventually I'll get to that. Alright, let's take a look at this mess of a harness here. I was really hoping at least I got this part right, but apparently I messed that up too. So, alright, so I bought a new tool for the garage. Supposedly, it works a lot better than, cutters. And I guess what you do is you just put it through like this, and then you pull it. Oh. Let me see. It looks like you kind of cut that, but let me try it again. So I guess what you do is you put it through like that, and then you just kind of pull it out like that. That's actually really neat. I don't know if you guys can see that. Alright. That's actually really neat. I can't believe I didn't buy one before. I'll put a link in the description if you guys are interested. I've never really used one of these, but I keep seeing people use them online. So what really got me interested is when people do this, and it's like, whoa, it's done. That's pretty neat. So what I'm going to do is I basically have this hooked up to the Tach wire, or what I think is a Tach wire inside the car, and then I'm going to go check to see exactly which wire it is on this end. On future note, I should probably make a diagram for that, like something for myself, because right now I have to do this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5. Alright, figured out it's this wire right here. So now I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check on the ECU side and see if it's still the green wire. Okay, so drop the ECU down. I'm gonna have to take this off and figure out if I actually route it right. So I gotta find the Tach signal from here, and yeah, so alright, I want to raise this up a little bit because I need access right here, which I'll show you guys right here. So this is the main harness, and essentially could actually cut this out here. I think I might have grounded it. That is so weird. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh man, that is not gonna be good. That is not good. You gotta take out everything. Alright, so I think I figured out what's going on. after I took out the pinout and then looked somewhere online, here's what happened. The guy labeled it Tach, and I had mistakenly labeled it Tach also, thinking that he meant like tachometer, but I guess he meant like throttle actuator control. So that was my mistake. But this is one of those things where I'm really always like hesitant to follow mindless instruction online without fully understanding. Unfortunately, when it comes to wiring harness, I don't know a whole lot about it, so then I just kind of tend to do this. For the most part, it works out, but sometimes you run into a problem like this where labeling issues, or essentially you misread something. It's never really the instruction mistake, but it's more me. So with that said, I did find the signal that I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off this fuse block because you don't really need it there. And I'm going to tap into it and see if it works. I think that's the right one. Now, luckily, I did save this one spot right here for emergency. Pretty cool. So I had an extra plug, and then I was like, you know what, I might just use that or need that later on. So yeah, I saved it, and I'll tap into that. That way we still have signal that goes all the way to the back without having to add a new wire. So, I guess I forgot that I didn't actually extend it on the other side. So that won't work. But I'm kind of thinking though, I guess I could use that. Let me see. I don't know what an SES is, and I don't know what a mill. I guess actually, I do know what a mill is. This is for the check engine light. I'm not gonna use that, so I'll probably just switch that plug into the Tach signal. That way I don't have to write a new wire and whatnot. Or I can figure out what the heck an SES is. Still don't know what that is. So I'll probably just Google what that is first and see if I could tap into the SES or mill. Because I think mill is probably less or more useful than SES. But I don't really know right now. Oh, actually, you know what? Take that back. VSS signal for sure I won't use. With the Audi, it already has its own hooked up anyway for the VSS signal. The transmission has its own, like, it connects to the body instead of going to an ECU and whatnot. Alright guys, so put everything back together, temporarily. This is the Tach wire. I have that routed inside the car, and I plugged everything back in. So Tach wire all the way in there. Now the moment of truth. Alright, so let's try this out. Actually, you know what? I forgot to hook up the HP tuner. Alright, so HP tuner is logging. Let's go ahead and give it a try. I think I have everything good. That is pretty good, actually. Pretty happy with that. So figure out what the fix is, or at least what the problem was. Again, the Tach wire was not the right Tach wire. Alright, so as I was in the middle of trying to figure out what wires I want to get rid of or straight off for my Tach signal, just found out what TCC brake switch is for. So I guess this is more of a automatic transmission function, so I don't really need it with a manual. I didn't know that. Good to note. I was trying to figure out for a long time what this was for. Okay, so I'm gonna tap into the TCC brake switch. I'm gonna switch this into a tachometer signal. Make sure not to put Tach this time. And that means I will have it all the way on here, because this I did transfer all the way to the dash. So that's gonna be quick and easy. Alright, I didn't realize the camera stopped recording. So what I did is I took off the TCC pinout on the ECU, and I'm gonna go ahead and actually I put this back together, and I'm gonna go ahead and solder this to the Tach signal on here. But before I do that, I'm gonna tighten everything up. That way when I solder the wire, it'll be the right length. And for this, I gotta take off my gloves. Can never do this right with the gloves on. Okay, I'm gonna go, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm gonna go ahead and relabel the TCC brake line. That way I know exactly what I change it to. Let's take this off. Alright, so I put it back temporarily again. Gonna have to take down that whole harness later on and go from there. Now I did find a new leak. That's something new. And when I looked in here, it looks like that hose or the drain, what do you call that? The turbo drain, looks like it's loose or was leaking. And it looks really close to the frame, so what I'm kind of thinking is it must have gotten moved or hit the frame when I launched it. So yeah, I think gonna have to pull that out, the turbo out, and check everything, because I could have possibly broken up the oil drain right there. Now the rest of the turbo looks like it's fine. I don't see any other, oh, I take that back. His turbo is also leaking. So that makes me feel a little bit hopeful, because that just means that maybe my my gasket is not good. Hopefully nothing broken. Alright, so I got the label for the tachometer signal here. What I'm gonna do is change this out right here from TCC brake switch to a tach signal, tachometer signal. And then instead of going here at the bottom, it's gonna go now all the way over there. Connected everything here. This is the new tach signal. Tachometer! Can't really see that. But anyway, I relabeled it. So hopefully that all works out. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check to make sure that I didn't just screw it up from connecting it to the engine to here. So yeah, let's test it. Got power on. Gonna go ahead and run our scanner. This I actually need to change this. 6,000 RPM should be good. That'll be our red line for now. It should probably be a lot less, but yeah, anyway. Alright, let's see. Scanner's on and try it. Let's go. Looks good. So the signal looks like it's pretty clear. This is actually has less delay than the HP tuner. That's pretty cool. And I'm not sure if that's because of this the signal or yeah. Anyway, this looks more accurate as far as movement, but you know, it is what it is. Alright, so that's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Finally got my tach working. So what I'm gonna do next, well, maybe next episode, is probably mount this here or somewhere for now. Yeah. Alright guys. Alright guys, I may have figured something out that's really cool. Check out this one, that one, and of course that one. Matching. Alright, so here's how I got this thing to work. First thing I did is that I went to HP Tuner. Essentially, I changed the tach output to 4, high and low, so that sends a 6-cylinder signal. I also changed this to read 6 cylinders just to verify everything. With the car sending 6-cylinder signal here, I can now connect it to this one. On the back of the cluster here, pin number 11 is the one that you want to tap into, which I have right here temporarily. And now that I know that that works, I can essentially just cut it out of the back of this and connect it directly into my tach signal. So with the stock one working, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this thing anymore, because I kind of like it with the factory look like this with minimal kind of gauge modification. But I do want the shift light though, so I may buy like an aftermarket shift light and mount it maybe where the other stuff is, like this corner right here that probably won't get used as well. So that is it for this episode. thank you guys for watching. I know it's a short episode, and I'll see you guys next time.